We have a $50 donation from Anonymous, which says, "Hey guys, long-time watcher, first-time donator. I love watching these every year, and you've all inspired me to try speedrunning. Put half towards singing Part of Your World during Little Mermaid and half towards Ultimate Doom, because those are both amazing." We have a $500 donation from Cobalt the Unicorn, which says, "Put this towards running as the heroes in Sonic Riders." And looks like, because of that $500 donation, looks like we're going to be doing Hero's Story instead of Babylon.
All right, I'm going to quickly first switch to the actual file I'll be using. Whoever donated to Sonic Riders Hero Story. So yeah, in the practice room, I was pretty much practicing Babylon Story the entire time because I thought that was going to win. So,
oh God.
Okay, so we'll see whether or not this goes well. All right, so I'm Sal. You might remember me as Jesus Juice Man from Defunct yesterday, but today we're doing Sonic Riders. All right, so we're doing the Hero Story. And before I start this run, I'd just like to say, yo, Twitch chat, let's see if you can have some fun with this. So this game is a racing game. We have to do the usual finish 3 laps and whatnot, but it has tricks in it. And I never really pay attention to the name of the tricks. So if you'd be so kind to read off the tricks and post them in Twitch chat while I'm doing them, that would be amazing. So there we go. Okay, so things are going to go by really quickly. It's only like an 18-minute run. It's actually a lot shorter for Hero Story. And time begins when I just simply press the X button. Now, some information that I need to say before I start the run. I actually have start bound to square, and that's really important for the second stage in Hero Story. And I'll get to explaining why that's the case later on the run. But for now, I guess we all good? All right, then I'll do countdown. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Oh, yeah, I haven't lost. What's up? That's right. All right, so we're going to start out against Eggman's robots. And if you guys don't know about this game, it's a spin-off that's pretty much about racing. It's a little bit more on the consistency side as opposed to major RNG, especially for Hero Story. So what I need to do in each level is pretty much finish 3 laps as fast as possible. And the way to do that is to first, on the first lap, get to level 3 on my ring meter on the left side, the top left, as fast as possible. And the reason why is because the faster I do that, the faster I'll be able to get more boost out of my sort of like air meter on the bottom right. And how boost works is that at level 1, if you see the number over at the bottom right corner, I can only get 200 units of speed. And at level 2, I get 225, and at level 3, I get 250. So it's always better for me to at least hit level 3 as fast as possible. Also, something that's really important is that at level 1, you're going to be seeing me do a drift. So the mechanics in this game are pretty simple. I can press the square button, or sorry, the circle button in order to do a boost, which loses some air, but gives me a burst of speed for about a second and a half, or actually 2 seconds, I believe. And then I could either do a drift in order to gain speed as well. So if you guys remember from, let's say, Mario Kart, the longer you hold down the drift, which is like left and right triggers, I go in left or right directions, and I'm able to pretty much give myself an extra boost of speed, which adds 50 to my current speed limit. So doing this, I can bypass the 200 speed cap at level 1, and also bypass 225 at level 2. So at those levels, I'm going to be drift boosting, and at level 3, you're just going to be seeing me mash the circle button. Okay, then. So we're just going to just run over these cars. By the way, if the catch wants to introduce themselves, you guys can do so now.
Remaster.
Oro.
Inman.
Right then. So, okay, so this should be coming in at the end of the first stage. Looking pretty good. This is actually a really good time. 40:38:38 is very good. You can actually get 37s on laps 2 and 3, but that's mainly RNG based on the cars. And I had to jump on both of them, so that's pretty good. All right, so the second stage is, surprisingly, I'm going to have to call for serious time right now because this houses one of the most significant tricks in the run. And if you're trying to go for a world record or if you ever start picking up this game, the trick that you're going to see me do in a little bit is possibly the most important one that you have to learn first. It's called pause buffering. It's more like a drift buffering strat, and the idea behind it is that, oh, well, I'm going to show you right now. All right, so let me get in position first. All right, let's see if I can do this. Oh, nope, failed it. All right, I'll try on lap 2, but you can go. So you probably won't be able to hear it as much right now, but whenever I drift, you will be hearing sort of like air coming out of my, wait, what do you call it, the hoverboard? And it's really important that I do this as much as possible, and you're going to be seeing me spam the square button, which is why I had it earlier. The reason why is because how the pause buffering works is that it keeps your last held input for about 10 frames. And if you're able to get this fully through, then your drift will go through during the air, and it gives you a burst of speed, which allows me to basically cross half of the stage. But it's very difficult, and the reason why is because the game could actually drop your inputs at any time. This game is actually pretty laggy on the PC sometimes, and it only gets worse as the game continues running for some reason. I'm not quite sure. Let's see if I can try this real quick. If I don't get on this lap, I'll... Nope, failed it again. That's all good. That's all good. It's supposed to be a really hard trick, so we'll see if I can get on lap 3. So let's see if I can do a little bit of a skip right here. We take this little fly area. Just to explain a little bit about how the 3 types of characters work. Right now I'm playing as Tails. He's a flying type. For some reason, whoever created this game really thought that flying should be overpowered. And flying allows you to pretty much skip a lot of the level, as you saw right there. You might have saw in the first lap that I went around as usual, but to showcase how flying can get across everywhere. But that second lap, I pretty much like just got past the entire bend around the corner. All right. So let's see if I can get it this time. Ah, man. Well, it's got to happen sometime. This game is also shown at ESA, and the exact same thing happens to the runners over there. But that's all good because we're still in first place, and that's the important part here. Because if we don't get first place, it's even worse because then we have to restart the entire stage, and that loses us about 2 minutes. Okay, so you might be noticing these little rank symbols next to the tricks I'm doing. So to talk a little bit about the trick system. Oh, shoot. Looks like I clicked outside the screen. All good. All right, so talk about a little bit about the trick system. You get air for completing tricks, and the highest rank is rank X. The lowest rank is rank C. It goes from C, B, A, double A, S, double S, and then X. X gives you 100 air, and C only gives you 20. So you always want to be able to land your tricks as soon as possible, but at the same time, you also want to be able to get an X rank so you don't worry about it as much. And right there, we actually got a really lucky level 2, which means we can get level 3 really quickly as well. This is Knuckles stage. This is the Eggman factory. It's pretty simple. The route is pretty much self-explanatory. I'm going to be basically doing this lap 3 times in a row. And if you even notice, there's a 100 ring packet there. We don't have to grab it because we got lucky level 3 early, and that should save quite a few seconds. All right, if you want to read some donations, you can go for it right now.
Yeah, for sure. We have a $10 donation from Anonymous, which says, keep the good vibes for a good cause. One love. And we have another $10 donation from Anonymous, which says, donating what I can. Hope everyone is having a great time. Since my name is Killer, I have to kill the animals.
Saving animals is so much better. No, just kidding. Save the frames, kill the animals, guys. So that 100 ring packet right there, there's one in every stage, and we only ever have to grab that 100 ring packet if we're not at level 3. In certain stages, it's out of place, so we don't want to grab it, but for the most part, in the hero story, you're going to be seeing me grab a lot of them. In this case, well, we didn't have to. So like I said, this game's a lot about consistency. Just being able to pull off the tricks as quickly and as efficiently as possible is important, because you always want to be at max speed as much as possible. Sometimes you'll be seeing me try to opt not to use the boost because I don't want to run out of air. If you run out of air, you pretty much slow down to a crawl. I believe like speed maybe 40, and that's extremely slow, and you have to go take one of these little air pockets on the left and right sides of the track in order to replenish your air. Not only does that waste time, but it also allows the competition to get ahead of you. And more importantly, if you fall off of a stage at any time, you get reset down to level 1 on your ring meter, and you have to get back to level 3 as fast as possible. Now, okay, this is Green Cave, and there's also something else that we have to show you with Tails in this stage, but it's early on in the lap. All right, let's see if I can get it. All right, there we go. So that skips the entire beginning section of the stage. What you saw me do there is, I guess you can say, sort of like a sequence break, quote unquote. It saves about 10 seconds on the first lap and 5 seconds on every lap thereafter. The first lap is the most important, though, because we want to get away from the AI as fast as possible. The only RNG that you will see in any runs of this game is either one, spawns of cars, which you only see in Metal City or Night Chase on Babylon's Story, or the AI decide to be really good or bad and get up in your face. If they attack you, not only do you lose your rings and go down a level, but their turbulence, which is something that you can go on in order to pretty much get your air back, replenish your air, and also perform tricks on, it can also really mess with your routing. So it's important to make sure that you're never next to the AI. Though we're probably not going to have to worry about it too much during this run, because especially for heroes, we're always going to be ahead of the competition by like half an entire lap. Oh, we still have time for more donations if you want to go for it.
We got $50 from Captain Panther, which says, wanted to put this towards Kill the Animals, but I think I'll have to put this towards one of awful comedy's greatest gifts to man, Pepsi Man cutscenes. Cheers to all the runners. Keep up the good work.
Oh, cool. I dashed straight off the entire stage. Well, you're going to see this really quickly. So if I dash across the stage and I just land outside of bounds, now you'll notice that my ring meter is now at level 1. Not really useful. We want to be able to get that back up to level 3 as fast as possible. Of course, this is the final lap, and we're not going to be on the ground for most of the time, this latter half of the stage, so we don't have to worry about it too much. Something I've been glossing over is how the trick system sort of meshes around with the environment. So sometimes when you do tricks, there are going to be different areas that you can access based on the type of trick that you perform as your first move. So if you see me do a backflip, that means I can go higher. So that cobweb that you saw me get on earlier, that's because of me doing a backflip as my first move. If I want to go farther, then I can use a front flip. For this stage, though, I'm going to try to not do that. Thank you, Knuckles. I need the air. And the reason why is because there's actually grind rail that I want to be able to take on the lower path. So I do not want to do a front flip on this next area. You'll notice it right away. So I'm going to do a side flip to the left and right. That allows me to hit the bottom floor. And then I can take this grind rail on this side. So like I said, there is RNG with the AI. These pillars right here, they will spawn the first time you get into contact with them, but they are also deactivated for 10 seconds after the last person has crossed that area. So if the AI decide to fight each other, like Tails right now, you can see on the map, Tails is just stuck there. That's really good for me, because now in the second lap, there is a very good chance that I can just simply drift right around the corner of that area without having to see those pillars come up. I think it should be fine here. So I guess my friends are really being useful. Oh, by the way, more donations if you got it. Go for it as well. Oh, nice. Got it in a packet. So those question mark packets you see there, they can hold anywhere ranging from rings to air to special effects. Now, all special effects for speedruns are bad. We don't want to get any of them. Surprisingly, we haven't gotten any yet. That's really lucky. One of them is the speed boots, and that caps your speed at 210 while you have it up there. So if we're at level 2 or level 3, we never want to get that. But at level 1, it's fine. So getting it during lap 1 is not a big deal. Though we rather prefer rings because we want to get to level 3 as fast as possible. The worst one to get is the weight, and it looks like pretty much like ball steel. It trails you behind your back, and it slows you down to 150. Not something you want for a speed run. Okay, so this is the final lap. Jet's in 3rd place, all the way behind us. But as we're going to see in the next cutscene, which I'll play just a little bit to show you how weird this game is, we're about to get across the finish line. But you're going to notice that Jet somehow just immediately caught up to us within like the last 5 seconds. So there you go. And he ends up cheating, and he wins. So now we got to exact revenge on him. And we're going to do so in Babylon Garden. Oh. Oh, man, that's going to be the first time it happens. All right, I'll donate to charity for that. You'll see that one pop up later. There's actually a bet between one of my friends and I that if I actually ended up going through the start of the line too early, I would donate. So yeah, there we go. Luckily, though, we got to this air of turbulence as quick as possible. This air of turbulence is really important for this stage on the first lap for a number of reasons. The first one being that it activates only when the first player that gets to it gets within about 10 meters to it. That's when you see it happen. The second thing is that with turbulence on the left and right sides, it acts like a ramp, so you can actually perform tricks on it. That only happens when you, as first player, gets to go on that turbulence. And as long as you do not get on that turbulence, those arrows are not going to pop up, and they're going to keep shifting left and right. And the reason why we need to get there first is because it will consistently allow me to set up for a trick that will replenish my air and give me an extra burst of 50 speed. So if I was not the first person to get there, then I would not be able to get that setup to work. So see these arrows right here? The early one. And we're only going to do it once to get up to 400. It takes a few seconds in order to actually land the trick. And the second time you do it only gets you up to 450 and then 485. It has diminishing returns, and we're not really going to go on that track for as much time. So we only need to do it once.
I guess something to note is that the Babylon story is the equivalent of Babylon Garden has the air drifting skip that you saw Celestics try to go for in Splash Canyon.
Yes, and that one is surprisingly harder than the one in Splash Canyon. For some reason, I can get the one in Splash Canyon in practice, but the one at Sky Road is a lot more difficult to pull off. The game likes to drop inputs right on the frame that you start going off of that flying pad, which can make it kind of difficult. Swag points. Got to go for that. So during these parts right here, it's a little bit of an auto-scroller, but not really. As long as you're matching left and right on the control stick, you can increase the speed gradually. It goes up to 240 for that particular airplane that Sonic rides on. If you do it too well, though, you're going to go up to the top track. It is very difficult, and you actually do not want to get on it. Oh, by the way, time is coming up right after I hit this final area. So time. Yeah. So this is pretty quick. Oh, okay, 16. Underestimate. That's pretty good. But yeah, if you guys don't mind, can I try to do the Splash Canyon thing again just to show it off? We have like a couple minutes. It'll only take at most like a minute. All right, then. Okay, so I want to be able to get this. So I'm going to go into Time Attack and see if I can show it to you, because at ESA they did not have enough time to show this off after their race.
That's a lot of characters.
Oh yeah, you got a ton of stuff after finishing the hero story. this real quick. I hope you do your best, Tails. I want to show this off to everybody. Okay, so you notice again that I'm drifting as much as possible. Again, boost here only gives me up to 200, so it's always better to drift. Oh wait, let's try that again because I didn't do the jump correctly. All right, there we go.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
That is really, really good. I wish I could have done that during the run, but that's fine otherwise. So we skipped the entire half of the stage doing this, and you have to do this 3 times. It's a lot harder than it looks. But yeah, there you go. And yeah, that's Sonic Riders. Thank you guys for watching.
And thank you, Celestics, for the Sonic Riders Hero Story run. Coming up next is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle with